Tigray President General Tadesse Verde, it seems, has put forward some preconditions for the DDR to go ahead. One of the preconditions is not new, but a new precondition has also been laid out by Tigray President and TPLF, you can say. Welcome to my views and news. Thanks for watching the channel. Firstly, a look at an important position statement by Tadesse Verde. Secondly, Egypt making last-ditch efforts to somehow undermine the inauguration of Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. Let's start with this story. Inauguration of GERD is due to take place in September next month. It was announced by the Ethiopian government last month. Dignitaries are going to be invited, world leaders are going to be invited. Egypt, on the other hand, is building a regional and international opinion in support of its position on GERD. Egyptian foreign minister, very busy these days, visiting different countries, Al-Sisi contacting world leaders. So on, so we are seeing hectic efforts from Egyptian side to somehow stop the inauguration ceremony of GERD or to force Ethiopia to sign a legally binding agreement before the inauguration of the dam. Egyptian Foreign Minister Badr Abdelaiti has visited Uganda. He met with the Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni. Uganda is a key contributor to African Union peacekeeping mission in Somalia. Egypt also committed to deploy its troops in Somalia, but the mission resumed its work in Somalia in January this year. So far, Egypt has not deployed its troops. The meeting was between Museveni and Badr Abdelaiti was about Egyptian military deployment in Somalia and about GERD. Egypt wants Uganda to support Egyptian position on the dam. Egypt has been using its likely military deployment in Somalia as a pressure tactic to force Ethiopia to come to the table, but Ethiopia has been rejecting Egyptian military deployment close to its border. If Egyptian troops are deployed far away from Ethiopian border in Somalia, Ethiopia won't object to it because Ethiopia and others agreed about military deployment. Not Ethiopia, but other players agreed last year, and it was announced that Egypt will commit around 1,000 soldiers to be deployed to Somalia. Ethiopia, in a way, accepted that deployment, though in principle it has been opposing Egyptian military presence in Somalia. Egypt, it seems, is linking the deployment of its military to some agreement with Ethiopia over GERD. Deployment of its military in Somalia. It wants to involve Uganda. It is trying to involve the US. It is trying to involve Eritrea, Somalia, Djibouti, and several other countries. But so far, Ethiopian government are not listening to Egyptian demands of a legally binding agreement. Back to the main news story. Varede Tigray president has shared two preconditions for disarmament DDR. Disarmament DDR, demobilization, disarmament, reintegration of Tigray forces is ongoing, but its pace very slow. First round ongoing round of DDR is going to end next month, and around 70,000 are expected to have been disarmed by the end of September. But Tigray government, Tigray military have been saying that there'll be no second round of DDR. They say there must be resolution to other issues before the start of the second round of DDR. It has a Varade in an appearance this week shared two very important preconditions for the DDR. Varade, 2 days ago attended a military gathering where military commandos were there. Inauguration ceremony was held there. A military gathering, and there he was seen with new recruits. Marshal Bajine was there too. We know TDF commando units, other units are being trained. So TDF is not being demobilized, rather it is being kept on alert. It is being kept in a state of preparedness, and new specialized units are being established. And we know that Tigray is in the process of acquiring weapons too. It wants to arm its military with modern weapons too. Anyway, so what is Varda saying? What are the two main demands for the DDR to continue? Tigray military will remain strong and armed, Varda said. Strong and armed. Armed, what does it mean? Tigray military has surrendered heavy weapons. Though Jula said a few days ago that Tigray military hid heavy weapons, and heavy weapons still uh, in the hands of Tigray military. I mean, it does have small arms, but it seems it has heavy weapons too. Two preconditions. Firstly, until the territories are returned. Which territories? Volkai, Thumara, Sag, they mainly. Parts of Raya, Tura are largely under Tigray control, but military, Tigray, TPLF want Humera, Volkai, Sag. Even return of IDPs won't lead to start of DDR. It might start, but it won't be completed. Tigray wants Western Tigray back. Humera Volkai Sag, back. Amhara region says that this area is part of Amhara. It's not Western Tigray, it's Humera Volkai Sag, part of Amhara. First precondition, not easy to be fulfilled by the government, by the way. Second precondition perhaps is more dangerous. Tigray wants security guarantees before DDR. What type of security guarantees? I mean, Tigray did not demand any security guarantees when it signed Pretoria deal. It agreed to DDR back then in Pretoria, but now it wants security guarantees. And who will give the security guarantees? Who will mediate? Who will have the influence to implement the guarantees? I mean, Tigray does not trust the federal government. If Abe gives a guarantee to Tigray military won't accept it. It means Tigray would like third party. So that if guarantees are violated, the third party will take action. So I believe that Tigray wants to involve third players, mediators. It wants some very serious and tough type of guarantees to be agreed to by the federal government of Ethiopia. Meanwhile, Tigray is teaming up with Eritrea. So, Faraday's talk is indicative of the fact you can call it now, that DDR is not going to go ahead in Tigray now. Rather, Tigray military will continue building itself, arming itself. Next question is, what is then the fate of Tigray as a region? Will it remain part of Ethiopia? Will it split? Will it try to turn into an independent country? Because if Pretoria is violated, Tigray military is not disarmed, and especially Volkai issue is not solved, what will happen? That will analyze in future videos. Thank you for watching.